We live, we live. We checking out sound, we checking out sound. A little bit better framing today. What's up, y'all? It's Producer Whisper again. Check this out. It's another Sync Hustle Mindset Friday. Hold on, let me fix some stuff here. I'm tripping. You know it's live TV. I gotta see myself, make sure I'm presentable for you guys. I hope everybody had a dope Thanksgiving, dope Turkey Day. I hope everybody's able to come to the live today. I might have some itis going on, which ain't a bad thing. So if you suffer from the itis, that means that you basically had a great Thanksgiving. You were blessed. And yeah, man, that's what it's all about, blessing. So those of you that got to see family, be around family, maybe get a plate of food, blessings, right? Oh man, it's live. We live already. What's up, Segura? How you doing? Yeah, man, I had leftovers for breakfast. Matter of fact, before anybody get on here, let me go grab me some fresh water real quick. Just a second. Be right back. Live TV. Live TV, y'all. You know how it is. You know how it is. Oh, sponsor, Icebreakers Artesian Spring Water. So what's up? What's up? We got a good one today, y'all. Hold on, let me pull this towards me some. We don't want to mess up the focus and everything. Yeah, man, I had a very interesting week besides Thanksgiving, talking about this sync stuff and this music stuff. And it led me to today's topic, which is called the hard truth about sync licensing. Um, it's just something that I think I needed to bring up because I see some disparages. Is that the word I'm looking for? Disparages. I had some issues with some of the information that um, I feel like you guys need to have. What you eating for leftovers, Segura? You got that? You got that turkey? Matter of fact, what was the best thing, the best item that you had this year? I'm gonna tell you ours real quick. I might have to bring it up again when people get in here because we got to remind people that today is Friday. You know, let me straighten out my microphone. And yeah, um, so I'm an avid YouTuber, right? So I've been looking at this guy called Cooking with AB. You might want to look him up on YouTube. And so he broke out with a um recipe for gumbo style collard greens. That's all I'm gonna say about that, man. I actually tried to make it myself, but we couldn't find all of the ingredients that we needed to find. And so Tay, little known fact about Tay loves to cook, right? So Tay went in and made me some gumbo style collard greens, and man, I don't think I want regular collard greens anymore. So you say, honestly, my neighbor made homemade rolls, and they were the best rolls I've ever had in my life. Yeah, it don't have to be that main dish, man. To be honest with you, I like Thanksgiving because of the sides. The sides is what excites me anyway. I never been a real big turkey person. I've only had turkey a few times where it was like, oh yeah, this turkey is bomb. It's not super dry. What's up, Tay? Um, what do you mean wrong account? So too small to ball account? It's all good. Tay has a podcast called Too Small to Ball. We're avid basketball fans, so Laker fans at that. So he gets on there and gives us commentary, his opinions. It's real dope. You could have kept your too small to ball. I was just plugging that for them. Hold on a second. See my little fruit cup, y'all. Gotta stay nourished. My sound coming through okay? Give me one real quick. There we go. There we go. Thank you. So yeah, man. Hopefully we get the tribe in here. And because there's some stuff, well, it's recorded anyway. So I'm gonna make sure that I drop these jewels today because brother got some stuff to talk about today, man. For real. Like, um, not anything too complicated, but like, yeah, there's some things that we need to go over. If you do music, you need to hear this live. What's up, J Tempo? How you doing? Happy Friday, man. Nice to see you. Welcome to the live Sync Hustle Mindset. I know today's live stream is called The Hard Truth About Sync, but we're going to be leaning a lot on the hustle and mindset. I don't even know what it's so much juice to lay out today. I don't even want to get into it right now. We're gonna wait till a couple people get in here, and we're gonna do these wins, and then we're gonna jump into it, and then we're gonna let y'all get back to these leftovers. Oh yeah, the leftovers, baby. So the couple guys that are in here right now, you guys might as well go ahead and kick the wins off. Let's go ahead and get it started. I don't even want to wait. I don't edit these live videos, so I don't want a lot of time me just sitting here just waiting. Happy you guys are here, man. You know what? Let me pop on my Instagram just to remind people. I it was a bad week with me promoting, man. I didn't promote again. Shame on me. Now you guys can see how detrimental that is, right? I'm always telling you guys to do it. I'm not taking my own advice. No excuses. I could be like, oh, it was hard for me to do it. I was sick. And then no excuses. There's no excuses. Let me pop on this Instagram real quick. You guys go ahead and lead in with these lives. I mean, with these wins while I pop on this live real quick. Now watch them start popping up on here. I switched to YouTube because this is the platform for this kind of stuff. People seek, hop on YouTube when they're trying to learn stuff, seek out information. And so I do this every week though. I like see the low numbers and I'm like, and then everybody shows up. I be tripping. KJ Rose, what's up? What's up? What's up? Happy Friday, man. Nice to see you. We got a good one today, as usual, but today we got a good one. To make sure y'all get all of these jewels today. Petrol and Patton, Panatin. I don't know how to pronounce that. So come over to YouTube. We're on my YouTube channel at the Producer Whisper on YouTube, where everybody is, and we're doing a live stream over here, man. I'm just popping on Instagram to get everybody to segue over to YouTube. Tracks on deck ATL. Come over to the YouTube channel, man. Happy Friday. Natalie Crawford, happy Friday. Nice to see you, lady. Everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Tracks on deck ATL. Come over to the YouTube channel, my brother. We got a good one today. As you saw by the thumbnail, we're talking about the hard truth about sync licensing today. The hard truth. The truth that sometimes you might not want to hear, but some that you really need to hear. So come over to the YouTube channel. I'm about to cut it off. There we go. We showing up. We're showing up. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. So right now, while we're at the beginning, we're talking about the wins. We're in the win section. Let's go. So first person in says, this is Taquan Black, says, we got a new record dropping, Mulholland Drive, December 1st, featuring me, featuring your boy FM. That's right. I don't know if you guys know or not, but I sing quite a bit. I'm a songwriter, singer-songwriter. And so, yeah, Tay over the years has been trying to get me to like participate, do hooks and that kind of stuff with him. And so yeah, I'm not leaning back no more. I'm going all in. So you're gonna hear me a lot more on records uh, that we produced. And yeah, this one we got some. If you go to his Spotify, we got some on there with me on there. Um, so check him out, Taquan Black's Spotify. We got some stuff. But we're doing an album right now called Mulholland Drive. Called PTSD. Very, very personal album. Won't get into the details. We're not really here for that. But we just finished. We're working on a song right now uh, called Autumn. That's really, really dope. It's basically about how you can't love someone the way they need to be loved unless you love yourself the way you need to be loved. And this is all like, based on personal experiences from he and I. So it's very, very dope. We really don't, we make fun records, but for the most part, we don't really like to make records unless we got something to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Hype Keys, what's up, man? Thank you for joining us on Instagram, but come over to the YouTube channel. That's where everybody is, at the Producer Whisperer on YouTube. Check us out. Let me wave at you real quick. There you go. We coming. Oh, we got 10 people. So let me shut this Instagram off. And you know what? I'm gonna keep it on just in case. And keep looking over. Recon Rap. Let me say hi to everybody. Mr. Tracks on deck. Sagara. Bunny Cakes. What's up? I subscribe. Thank you, Bunny Cakes. We back. We back on another Friday. This is a Sync Hustle Mindset live stream. We do this every Friday. We talk about all things sync, hustle, and mindset, because if your mindset is impaired, then your hustle will be impaired. And we don't stand for that here. We make sure that you are operating on all cylinders and you get to where you're trying to go. You have the best chance to get to where you're trying to go. So thank you. We will subscribe back. Mayor, what's up? Oh, Jenny, you clowning. Jenny family. Jenny, my daughter-in-law, y'all. Yeah, man. Before we get into okay, so first of all, I'm skipping around. You see, my ADD is tripping right now. So let me go back. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis to Taquan for working on his music. Going back to the got a record called Mulholland Drive, produced by Terrence Anderson. So Petrol produced this one for us and mixed it. So really, really dope. So shout out to Petrol. So fire emojis to Petrol, fire emojis to Taquan Black. And I'm on the record too, singing a little bit. Got my hook thing going on. What's up, Hype Keys? Come over to the YouTube channel, my brother. This is where we are. We're getting it in. So yeah, fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis for the productivity. Oh yeah, I do a lot of hooks, man. I do hooks. You saw that gold microphone I bought. Part of that was, because I'm leaning in, man. And a lot of what I'm telling you about that has to do with what we're going to talk about today too. We're going to bring that up for sure. It's a trip because a lot of the stuff that I tell you guys, I give you guys advice, I'm living it too. I got to do the same stuff. A lot of the stuff that I'm telling you guys to do to level up. So it never stops. So let me go back to the comments here. We're going to go back to the wins. What's up, London? How you doing, lady? ATL in the house. Recon Rap. Revision Music. Okay, so fam, we all up in here. We up in here. Let me see. Okay, nobody's on Instagram. I'm gonna keep this on just in case somebody pops on. So right now we're in the wins. So whatever you did to level up between the last time I talked to you guys and today, I don't care how small you think it is. If you studied YouTube videos, or if you learned a new mixing technique, or you finished a track, or you started a track, whatever it is, we celebrate all of that here. We celebrate it, because in our regular lives, there's nobody celebrating our wins like that. We know how significant it is when we learn something, or when we get a little bit ahead of where we were the week before. That's a big deal. This music pursuit thing is not easy. It's difficult. There's no life preservers for us out here. So that's why we celebrate it. So let me see in the comments what you did, and we're going to celebrate. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. Let us go. Let's go. Recon Rap says, learning how to mix all over again. Recorded 3 traps, but the mix has to be better. Mixing is a never-ending battle. It just, we're never ever satisfied. I don't think I've ever mixed something or even had something mixed and was like, oh, this is perfect. I always hear something, or it could be better, especially when you hear something else, when you hear something that's obviously mixed or a little bit louder, a little bit wider, whatever the situation is, you can tell. But that's a pursuit we got to keep on. You know what I'm saying? It's always a battle to strive for the best sound. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis, because he started his comment with the word learning. You dig? He said learning how to mix all over again. So that's what, you know what? Put this phone down. Sundez, what's up, lady? Come over to the YouTube channel. You know we all over here. Hey, fam, come up to the YouTube channel. Get off of here. YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. I'm about to cut this off because I'm getting uncomfortable holding this phone. You know, my homie was just telling me this morning that I could get a stream deck or something and stream to all platforms at the same time. Um, so I don't know, I might do that. Okay, Sundez is on the way, y'all. So let me get up out of here off the Instagram end video so I can put this down. So yeah, let me put that down. Get a sip of water. Look back in the comments. Yeah, did you guys give Recon Rap his props for learning how to mix all over again? Recording 3 records. He's getting busy this week. Productivity. Productive. I love it. London says, reached out to some ad agencies since the last live you did. Definitely want to level up in that area. You see what I'm saying? I don't just be talking out the side of my neck, man. You know, I'm so appreciative for where I am in this space that I'm just compelled to give back. That's when I started doing this, the sync landscape was totally different, right? And we're going to talk about that today too. You know, back in the day versus today, the opportunities back in the day versus the opportunities today, the way you had to hustle back then versus how you have to hustle today. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis to London. Let's go ahead and add her and let her feel the love, man, because she reached out to some ad agencies. That's hustle. You know, I love when people get game, they get jewels, and then they apply it. They're really trying to go out and get it. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. Let's let everybody feel it, please. Let's let everybody feel it. These wins are important. Let's let everybody feel it. Okay, let me scroll up, and they coming in now. Keys of Life. That's a dope name. This is me, bro. Subbed up, Hype Keys. Oh, that's dope. Dope name. Keys of Life. And thank you for the sub. Definitely will be following you back. Give London her flowers, y'all. Okay, so Mayor, he released his song Give Up on the 15th, which got played at a radio station in USA an hour ago. And my next song, Hello. Wait, first of all, before I go into the next part of his win, fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis to Mayor. He released a song and he got airplay already. So that's mechanical royalties. Come on, man, you clowning. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so, and then he says, and he's overseas too. Aren't you in India? Where are you at, Mayor? And his next song, Hello, It's Me. How you doing on the 27th? So he's dropping music. Again, fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis, hand claps, thumbs up. Let's celebrate that. You definitely are steps ahead of where you were before a week ago. And the hustle is strong in this, brother. So let's go. Fire emojis, let them feel it. So Jay Tempo says, "What's up, Sundez? Welcome to the live." So Jay Tempo says, "Did you ever pick up that keyboard you were looking at?" Nah, man. I actually went up to Guitar Center right after I got off the live stream, and I started walking around in there, and I didn't want to spend $300 and something on that right now. You know, I got this thing here. Hold on, let me show you. You know, if push comes to shove, you know, I got a Phantom. My main MIDI board Actually, the reason I had the issue with the board is because I got two setups. The one working on right now that you're looking at me through is a PC setup. I got a gaming PC, and so I have Studio One on here and a million and one plugins and stuff or whatever. So I use the PC more so for just my creativity. I don't produce sync music on here, for the most part. Me and Tay do most of our, songs on here for Spotify and DSPs or whatever. And I don't use it for that. If I'm doing stuff for sync, which I don't do that much, I'm starting to get back into the advertising side because there's more meat on that bone for me. I'm not trying to take the TV placements away from my team, so I'm not competing with them. I don't make music for TV because I don't want to get placements that they could get. See what I'm saying? But with the ad stuff, there's less people able to do that ad stuff, especially at a moment's notice. So, and I don't want to let those $150,000 briefs slip. So I went and got a new Mac Mini with the M2 chip. Got 2 terabytes in there, so I got it blown out. And so I'm doing a Logic setup for Mac. So Logic is the only DAW that I use to do TV film stuff. And I've, Reason, Cakewalk, like I don't fall in love with these DAWs, man. So it's not like I'm one of these people that, I only use Ableton, and I'm not one of those people. Like I'm a tech guy. So like whatever works the best for me, I'll dip over and I'll use that. And so for me, Logic for sync has been the best because way back in the day when I first got Logic and I didn't have no bread to get a bunch of plugins, I couldn't just go grab Omnisphere and all that stuff or whatever, you know, back in them crack software days. um Logic had the best stock library for making stuff for sync. So I could use their stock sounds and their stock pianos and stuff and strings and stuff and tweak them with the effects that they had in there and really get over. So like the majority of my sync career making music was used with Logic. And so since I just got that Mac, I'm needing a new MIDI board for the Mac. And so to answer your question, like I'm probably going to just start off using this just to get some ideas down. And but yeah, maybe I'll look at some Black Friday sales today, but I just didn't want to spend that much money. I just didn't want to spend that much money on that last week. And I had spent, too much. Black Friday, man, I bought 2 TVs yesterday. I bought two 55-inch TVs yesterday, day before yesterday, I mean, just because they were on sale. And just because if you guys don't know, TCL is a great brand. I've had them for years. Again, not in love with tech, so I get the lower brands, Insignia. Uh, I've had a bunch of brand TVs or whatever, but Walmart is selling a 55-inch 4K UHD smart TV for $188, y'all. 55-inch 4K for $188. So y'all better find a way to try to jump on that. I went and got the warranty. You know how they always offer that 3-year warranty for like $30? I'd never say yes to that mess. But yeah, I went and got that TV and ended up getting another one. So I bought 2 of them just because of Black Friday, just to have something in the studio. And then my girl needed a TV in the room, so got her a TV. So I digress. Got me running my mouth. So to answer your question, nah, I didn't get that keyboard, man. J Tempo. I'm gonna get something though. So we back to the wins. Back to the wins. Sunday says my win is that I'll be opening up for Nelly this weekend in my hometown. Super excited, boy. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. So tell everybody where you at. I saw you in the studio with Lady Producer. That melted my heart. You guys were actually in the same room together. That is so dope. I don't see Cherry in here today. She probably unconscious from eating yesterday. Got the itis. But that's heavy right there. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. Tell everybody where you at. Nelly is like one of the biggest selling rap artists in history. Like y'all don't realize how big Nelly was. Like and even today how big his numbers are. Like he's one of those artists, man. Like Pitbull, one of those artists that can cross over to a lot of different areas and reach a lot of people. So Nelly was like that. And Nelly had us stomping in our Air Force Ones for real, for real. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. Sunday's up in here performing. You just dropped music, girl. You already out there performing. The hustle is strong in you too. Fire emojis for real. Okay, so next up, and at these people when we're doing these wins. I want you to add them in the comments, get these fire emojis to them. I want everybody to feel like we celebrating because that's what we're doing, man. It's not fake here. We're real 100% over here. So let's go. Natalie Crawford, what's up, lady? She says my artist Trick the Optimist hit 10 editorial Spotify playlists. So let's hold up. Let's celebrate that. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis, because that's already a big Ben win. 10 playlists is a big. It's hard to do on Spotify, man. You got to be active as hell to get that kind of attention. So that's dope. So his latest album, One of One, is gaining traction. And I created a class that I can teach to teach others how to build wealth in real estate. Okay, so she's multiple hustle, multiple hustle. Yeah, I think I need to see what that is because I'm getting into real estate right now myself, man. Honest with you. I'm talking about multifamily, commercial, and land. I'm not really tripping on flipping houses or nothing like that. I don't want to do that. Multifamily, commercial, and like straight land. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis to Natalie Crawford, y'all. Fire emojis, we celebrating. You see she's hustling. And special shout out to Trig the Optimist. Congratulations on your playlist, man. Playlisting. That's super, super dope. So we are scrolling, we are scrolling, we are scrolling. I was waiting for when Segura was gonna pop in, man. So Segura says, I did a few more presets for my upcoming X Fur Serum pack. Uh-oh. And I just ordered some new headphones to hold me off until I can get the Slate VXSs. The Slate VSXs. You know what? I'm gonna look that up right now. So I know what you're talking about. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Slate VSX. The Steven Slate Audio VSX. So I see what four Guitar Center's got them for 300. Sweetwater's got them for 400. So 400. Yeah, man, that's a good headphone. Let me pop them open so I can see what they look like. Get the big picture. Oh, those are sweet. That's a clean look. And it's Steven Slate, so I know they're sounding good. That's dope. So fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis to Segura for getting those the presets done. So that's super dope, man. And let's give everybody some good. Let's give Segura some good energy so he can get those VSXs sooner than later. We want those on his head. For real, for real. Let him feel it, y'all. So Recon Rap says, oh, London has a sale going on for her beats. Tap in, y'all, if you need beats, because I definitely will. Okay. London making beats. Want to hear those too. We waiting for you over here at Smash Coast, London. Come on now. I know you got what we sent you and stuff. Let's go. Come on, man. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. Okay, so let's go back down here. We're still in the wins. We're still in the wins. Yeah, that airplay, man. And Mayor is from India. So shout out to India right now in the house. See, I'm looking at all of this love in the comments is beautiful. Keys of Life says, I still want to build a super PC since early 2000. So let me tell you something. That's why I started. That was my journey. I was on Mac for years, right? And I needed more flexibility because with Macs you can't really, do a lot, right? And I wanted to be able to, have the flexibility to upgrade, expand my memory if I wanted to. And I just wanted a bunch of power. I wanted to be able to have a machine that, I can edit video. If you guys that edit video, rendering is always a problem when you're using Adobe Premiere. If your computer's not like beefed up, that type of thing. So I just wanted a box that could handle anything. if you got sessions open in Pro Tools or whatever DAW you're working in, a lot of these VSTs are very, power intensive. Like they drain a lot, right? And so I wanted something that could really handle it. So I started off, well, let's build something. Like these components don't cost a lot these days. Like you can get memory cheap as hell, um, RAM and storage. And when I started doing that, um, I don't know, I kind of fell down a rabbit hole because you can build a PC a bunch of different ways, right? And I was even like the boxes, like, what kind of box am I going to use? I wanted it to be like really dope. And, then I started seeing like they had the water cooled ones with the LED fans and all the liquid cooling in them or whatever. And I was like, man, I don't know what I want. So, but I need to work. So I ended up just going up to Best Buy and buying a pretty good cyber power gaming PC, right? Now, this is the cheat code right here for all of you guys that are on PC and you're having issues with these type of things. You want to start at like the $790 to $800 range, $800 and up. You don't have to. You can go like $600, $700 or whatever for entry level. But the ones that are going to really be able to perform, have a good graphics card and that kind of thing, about 800 and up. I paid about 12 for mine, so I got good memory. I got a dope graphics card that can handle gaming, and that's the reason why I went to a gaming PC is because they're set up for you know um for work, that for gaming. And so if you want the games to run smooth, different frame rates and that kind of thing, right? So if you get something that's set up and can handle that well, then usually it's going to handle video editing and music production very well, because there's not anything as intensive on computers as gaming, right? Real-time processing, 4K, et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes 8K and that kind of thing. And so I just went and got a prefab gaming computer that is a beast. I didn't have to do anything. As a matter of fact, I got a homie that's I actually am changing my C drive to a bigger C drive. So I got a 2 terabyte to put in there, and then some other little tidbits or whatever. But that's the reason why I got it, because I could do that. Like, once it was ready to expand, I could expand it. But as far as handling the workload, I'll never go back to a regular PC. It's always gaming PCs for me because they're just built to work, right? And so it's actually cheaper a lot of the time for you to just go ahead and buy a prefab gaming PC, than to build one yourself. Building one yourself is just like, it can never stop. Like I said, I didn't even realize that they had all the oil cooling and all that, and it looks so cool. Then they have PCs that don't look like PCs. Like, I'm a Star Wars fan. I saw a PC that looked like the Death Star from Star Wars, and that was like, $4 grand for that. And it was dope as hell. Like, but like I just didn't have, my ADD was just on overdrive. Like, so I went ahead and grabbed one. So for those of you that don't know, gaming PCs kill it. Don't worry about building one. You can go get you a gaming PC, and then you can add on to it and customize it how you want to. And I wish I could turn the camera and show you mine. It's beautiful. Got the 3 LED fans in it. It can change colors and all that stuff, the cleared side and all that, whatever. I'll put it on camera one day for you. So fire emojis for that comment. Keys of life. See, got me running my mouth, man. So we still on the wins. We're still on the wins. Yeah, don't blame. They pretty much do the same thing. I'm scrolling. Sunday says, thank you so much. We're both from St. Louis, so it's a big deal for more for. So you getting to perform in St. Louis for Nelly in your hometown is huge. You might need a couple more fire emojis for that, man. That's a big win. I know you're excited. There's gonna be a bunch of people there too. Nelly's one of those artists that didn't fall into the that negative rumor mill that a lot of artists from back in the day fell into. I won't get into all that. What's up, David Massey? Nice to see you. So I'm still scrolling. We're still in the win. So if anybody got any wins to add, I'm still scrolling. For those of you that don't know, David Massey is Out of Reach Productions. Follow him if you're not following. I'm just looking in the comments real quick. Scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. Oh, here we go. Um, Keys, yeah, I'm Mac too. So yeah, I got a Mac and a PC over here. So I'll just produce on what I want to produce on. And then I got the MPC, got a couple MPCs, I got a machine, got a bunch of stuff. Um, oh, okay, that's good, London, because you know she just had full knee surgery. So this whole past week has been kind of sketch. I've been talking to her, bless her heart. She's been going through it a little bit. So shout out to my partner Kim, man. She's on the mend though. She's slowly getting back. She showed me the scar. Ugh, God, it made me. That's crazy. The scar is like 13, 14 inches long, man. That's crazy. She's ready though. Let's go. So I'm scrolling. Liquid cooling makes me so nervous. I want to do it, but the fear is real. Yeah, I mean, I've done my research, man. It depends on who builds it. I haven't seen too many cases where they leak and that kind of thing, but they look so dope though, man. They look so dope. Some of those liquid cooled PCs are just Sunday's working from KJ Rose says, I see you working with my sis lady producer. Okay, so are we done with the win so we can get into this meat of the sandwich? Everybody done? Okay, so give me a one in the comments if we're ready. Give me a one in the comments if we're ready. We can just go ahead and go to it. Today's show is called The Hard Truth About Sync Licensing. And I got a little bit of a story to tell y'all. Up, David Massey, Outer Reach Production says, made it on Tune Edge playlist with 3 songs. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. David Massey, let's let him feel the love, man. Big accomplishment. We celebrating. Anytime you make it on somebody's playlist, that's big because it's all about getting exposure. And that's one of the hardest things for us to do in this space is to get exposure to enough people. So getting playlisted is a huge, huge deal. I don't care what platform it is. That means somebody's rocking with you. Oh, you never too late, man. Never too late. Fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. You know how we do. Let's go. Let me turn this Instagram on again. Just bring some people over here. Just give me 1 second before we pop in here on this topic. I just got to remind everybody. I don't know if you guys can share this live or not, but share it real quick because this is something a lot of people trying to do this need to hear today. I know they can come back later, but I'm in the moment right now. I'm feeling it right now. So, I want to talk to you live. MC Shaw, come over to the YouTube. Nice to see you. Oh, there's a bunch of people popping in over here on the Instagram. MC Shy. She wants to be in the video. So I'm gonna let her pop on here real quick. I'm going live with Shy on my Instagram real quick. Okay, yeah, come over to the hey, yeah, because I'm on YouTube. I only popped on here to remind people to come over to the YouTube channel. So that's where we are right now. We're over here kicking it on YouTube. Official Alice, Alicia, the songwriter. What's good? Jamina, what's good? Come over to the YouTube channel. See, I'm glad I did this, you guys. You guys just give me a second. Be patient with me. I'm bringing some people over. All of my IGers, come over to the YouTube channel. It's lit over here. Or if you want to stay right there, we can, if you can hear me, we can just do it right here. You know what? It is what it is. but it just looks better on the YouTube channel. And this is where I can actually interact with you. I'm interacting with everybody on the YouTube channel. So come over to at the Producer Whisperer on YouTube. And we got more people popping in already. There she is. What's up? Jamina. And you guys feel free to congratulate each other right now in the meantime. Keep the fire emojis going. Let's let the love keep going. You know, I know people might have an itis today from yesterday, but let's keep it popping. If you're on Instagram, come over to the YouTube channel, please. Yeah. I'm going to be on here just a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and get into this very, very, very important topic we got to talk about today. I don't want to be all serious with you guys, but today is one of those. My Instagrammers, come over to the YouTube channel, please. We're over here. We're over here partying, actually. We're having a good time. David Massey says, thanks, everyone. Still looking to work with dope artists and songwriters. Don't sleep on David Massey, Out of Reach Production, man. He works hard. Keys of Life said he just made breakfast for his wife. Man, you might want to put some heart emojis for that. That's big right there. So I'm about to get off of this Instagram. Oh, see. Oh, that's Cherry. Cherry, come over to the YouTube. There we go. We out of here. All right, so that's it. People can come back. Okay, so we're talking about the hard truth about sync licensing, right? Got a little story. Something happened a little bit ago. As you guys know, Andre 3000 released a new album this week, right? Shout out to Three Stacks. I listened to it yesterday, as a matter of fact, and it is some, like, you know, it's some yoga music, some meditation music. It tripped me out that that's where he's at with it. I very well suspect that he's going to drop some more traditional style music, but he's, you know, expressing his creativity. So, you know, shout out to Three Stacks. But I was watching the interview, right? And this is actually what led me to this topic today, because it got me thinking kind of heavy, right? So y'all stay with me. So in this interview, he was saying that when he wrote and recorded the song Hey Ya, right? One of our favorites. I know most of y'all love that song. It took him mainstream, sent his career to the stratosphere, right? But when he recorded and wrote and recorded that song, he played it for one of his best friends, right? His best friend said, man, if you release this song, your career is going to be over with, right? Totally was not feeling the song, right? And so when I heard that, it kind of like, okay, well, there's a lot of lessons to be learned in this, right? You know, one, don't be worried about what people think. You know, two, you got to go with what your gut is, what you feeling, you know, go with your own creativity, like you yada, yada, yada. You guys know all of this, right? So, and then you see what the song did with his career, right? And so it got me to thinking, in sync licensing, right? What if his best friend was, in our world, a music supervisor or a sync agent, or, you know, a library, a person, you know, listening to your submission for a library? You know, what I'm saying is that your music could be perfect for that media. Your music could really, really kick butt in that movie or that video game or whatever it is, right? But ultimately, it comes down to that person, you know, they're, and a bunch of factors, whether they like your stuff, their taste in what they're listening to, their needs at the time. But what I'm leaning, you know, we already know about the sync stuff, but what I'm leaning more on is just their taste. You know, you could send something really, really dope and really fitting for that media to someone, and because they don't have the taste to know that it's dope, right? Just like Three Stacks, best friend didn't, right? Had his own, and it's not that he was wrong. It was his opinion. Everybody likes what they like, right? So it's not like, oh, he made a mistake or whatever. He didn't like the song. Just because the public liked it and it blew up, that doesn't mean he was wrong in his opinion. He has every right to his opinion, and he probably still doesn't like the song, right? But that's the thing that kind of got me thinking. I'm like, okay, well, um, yeah, ultimately you're going to deal with a music soup or somebody along the way that just isn't vibing with what you're sending, even though if it did make it to that media, it could blow up. Like, if they that song could be the song that launch you into the stratosphere if they put it on that TV show or whatever. But it comes down to that person. So it got me thinking. I'm like, okay, so that's one of the reasons why sync is so difficult. And that's what I don't hear a lot, that sync is difficult. It's difficult. It's difficult because you could do all of the right stuff. You could have the music that you need to make. You could do all your due diligence that we teach, you know, sound expensive, sting outs, like everything. You could prepare yourself and then you send that music to somebody who just flat out just doesn't get it, right? And in my experiences over the years, there's a lot of people like that, right? That's why it's a numbers game, right? So one of the hard truths about sync is that you can do everything right and put the work in and still not succeed at it. So one of the things that I advise is don't rely just on sync. One of the things that I put in the thumbnail is like, can you earn a living from sync licensing? Yes, you can. You can definitely earn a living from sync licensing. So I'm not negating that at all. But what I'm saying is you're playing the odds game. What are the odds of you being able to pay all of your bills and save money like you could if you had a really good paying career, job or career? What are the odds of you being able to do that with sync licensing if you do everything right? Right. And I'm here to tell you that the odds are not high. It's not high. And people might not want to hear that, especially people that are getting monetized in this space or whatever. But it's the truth. It's not high because at the end of the day, this is a relationship based game. Okay. So you do all of the stuff, you get the music right, you get your look right, your social media right. Hopefully people come after you for your music. But if not, you got to hustle it. You got to either get with people that are already getting placements or you got to do what we teach, email, cold email, do what you got to do. And it's a relationship based game. And there's a vibe that if you just do the work, you'll be successful at this. And that's not the case. It's not. It's just not, because anytime you put somebody in between, a decision maker between you and the media or you and your money, then you're beholden to that person's opinion of your music, right? And so they say, okay, well, build relationships, build relationships. You can't just build a relationship with who you want to. You can't just see a person and be like, you know what, I'm going to have a relationship with them. It has to happen organically. You got to be feeling them. They got to be feeling you. Fortunately, a lot of time, or most of the time in this space, your relationship is built on the things that you do before they get in contact with you. That's why I'm always preaching to have your social media right. Make sure that you're putting metadata in your stuff, like all of the stuff we talk about, like the rules of sync. As long as you're following the rules of sync and you're hustling right, it's easier to make these relationships, because fortunately, a lot of these music supervisors and these sync agents and stuff are looking for music. That's the one up, is that there's always a need for the music, right? But a downside is that once that entity finds reliable sources for that music, then those doors close for you, right? So then you got to keep hustling and keep hustling and keep hustling. So what's the answer, right? I'm not on no doom and gloom or nothing like that. I'm a person that's been successful in sync. One of the reasons why I've been so successful in sync, as you will notice, maybe you haven't noticed, but right now I'm going to just hip you to it, make you aware of it. A lot of the guys, a lot of us online here that are making money in sync, that we get royalties, we get placements, we're doing a damn thing. We've been in it for 10 years plus, right? We've been in it for a long time. And so because we got in it when the landscape was different, it was easier to be successful back then. And I brought this up before. If you go back 10 years, hardly a lot of y'all wasn't on your radar. Nobody wanted to do sync. I still had issues trying to get people to even send music for sync. it, the record labels was paying money, you know, people were still doing $500,000 music videos on, BT and MTV and stuff or whatever. So it was a different landscape 10, 15 years ago, right? Music supervisors, because they weren't getting our music in bulk like that. A lot of people were trying to send music soups. They were really, really grateful to get a hold of us. The few of us that were way back, 2003, 2004, 2005, sending music in the music supervisors, they weren't requiring sting outs on the beats or nothing. They would have the editors put sting outs on the beats or chop the beats up for us or whatever, just because they were happy to get them. Right. And so it wasn't hard for us to make those connections because nobody was trying to do it. And they were like, yeah, we had reality television was brand new. You had shows like Real World and stuff that were really adamant about having their background music sound like the music of the day that the kids were listening to. And these music supervisors and these networks just didn't have access to hip music producers that were making oh damn, you see what I just did? I wish I could cut that out. That were making, I was trying to use the quote fingers, that were making street music. And so, but fast forward to today, there was a bunch of us back in the day that were feeding them, cues, and building those relationships. And so now, present day, the average music supervisor is not thirsty. They have a bunch of people trying to get at them with music. They've already made their relationships with people. Some have fallen off. Some have stood the test of time. But they have music now. They've amassed their own little mini catalogs or sizable catalogs of music that they've been collecting over the years, music that works, right? And so it's just simply not as easy to get to them because there's a lot more of us out here trying to do it, right? And so going back to what I said, can you have a career in sync? Yes, you can, but it's a lot more difficult to do it these days than it was back in the day. And a lot of us in the space that are teaching and giving information have been doing it for a lot of years. And so you see that success level. So it looks like, okay, well, I can get into it and I can do it too. You can get into it and you can do it too if you did it 15 years ago, like we did. Most of these guys, I'm not going to mention names, these are my peers or whatever, you guys know who they are, but we've been in the game a long time. These guys have been in the game a long time, 15, 20, I'm like 20, 25,000 placements, and still going. But these are based on relationships that I made like many years ago. A lot of the stuff that I get isn't like new relationships. We're still building them, but we even see now, even with our resume as a great company, Smash Codes, it's harder for us to get the ball rolling and start the relationship game because they don't need us as much anymore. It's just supply and demand. Like they can get music, they might have relatives or friends or whatever, like people in their lives they can go to, whatever, or they've made the relationships over the years, just like I have, and, just like Smash Coast has and other peers have. And so it's just not as easy, right? So what's the solution? What's the solution? um as a music producer myself, I always tell people, the second that you want to monetize what you do, you're in business, whether you feel like you're in business or not. So if you want people to pay you for your music, that's business. You're trying to do transactions, so you have to act accordingly. So if you think in that mindset, I'm a business, just okay. So hypothetically, say you're a brick and mortar business, right? You're a building somewhere, right? What are you going to be selling in that building? Just that one thing? Beats here, you're going to have a big Walmart and you're going to be sitting in the middle of it, a big empty mall Walmart. You're going to be sitting in the middle of it with a desk or a keyboard and say you're selling beats. Nah, if you're really trying to attract customers and you're really trying to increase your bottom line, you're going to have to sell more products, right? You're going to have to diversify your business plan. And speaking of business plan, think about it. How smart of it, how smart of it how smart is a business plan if your whole livelihood is dependent on if a music supervisor says yes or no, right? And you're dependent on that. It's these entities are they're not gatekeeping. It's their job. It's what they're supposed to do. They get the music that they're supposed to get when they're supposed to get it, yada yada yada. But they make relationships too. They have relationships as well. And if you haven't gotten in that space with them and they're already secured with relationships with who they're working with, then it's going to make it that much more difficult for you to get in. So you have to get to other customers. You have to be able to monetize what you do in other ways around sync. You see this in the space a lot. I haven't done it yet. I'm not seeing nothing, but everybody else, all of my peers, they're selling stuff. They got courses and I went to Jay Will's profile the other day, and he's got itemized, consultations $300, two, so they're making money around sync, right? Because I don't think anybody's going to be able to make a six-figure income consistently, right, with just sync. Because it's dependent on somebody making decisions. If you are fortunate enough to really get into a situation, which is highly possible if you hustle, right? And what I mean by situation, I got a buddy who's in-house at Telepictures. So he's in-house at Telepictures, right? That's Warner Brothers, by the way. So Warner Brothers, they got, you know, they make animation and all movies and all kind of stuff or whatever. So he hasn't really had to go outside. He never had a career where he had to like reach out to music supervisors or, all of the stuff that we teach on these platforms, because he got in with a network as, again, he's been doing it 15 plus years. Is back in the day where they didn't have anybody supplying them urban music. So he got in there, got in where he fit in, and immediately became their urban music go-to. And then he performed and did what he was supposed to do. So now he's 20,000. I don't know how many placements he's got, but he's got 20,000 cue sheets. So there it is there. So if you're in a situation like that, then yeah, you're going to prosper for sure. Those situations are still possible. You can still reach out and get those type of situations. So in your hustle, just know, like, your goal is to get into a situation where they're really rocking with you and using your music. Libraries are good for getting placements, but it's never a situation where you're prioritized at a library. They can't. Your music comes up in a search engine, because of your metadata. And so it's going to place when it plays, and it's not going to place when it don't place, right? You want a situation where you got a relationship with somebody who's really rocking with you. You're their go-to. That way, that there's going to be some consistency in your placements. As long as you're just sending placements to soups and libraries and this kind of thing, and you don't have those deep relationships or that personal connection, then your placements are going to go up and down. I'm just going to be here to tell you that's the truth. You're going to have some good years, some bad years. Out of all of the years that I've been doing it, I'm just going to be real with you. I haven't had a lot of $100,000 years, right? I've had a lot of good years, like, but I've had quite a few bad years too. But six-figure years, I can count on one hand. I won't say how many, but I can count on one hand out of the since 2000. I'll say I really got going like really tough 2005. I moved out here in 03. So 05, 06 is where I really gained traction, and I was getting like, hearing multiple beats on TV shows. I'd watch a reality show and hear 4 tracks on there. On average, I would always hear more than one, 2 or 3 on an episode. And so the royalties were like raking up. And so, yeah, I had a few times where, a little bit over 100, 98,000, 115,000 in a year, something like that. But for the most part, it goes up and down. It fluctuates. Now, keep in mind, my hustle is my hustle, right? So I'm like kicking ass and hustling every year. Like the hustle don't change. I put the same amount of pressure, if not more, when need be, on a situation. But there's so many factors that I can't control, right? I can't get direct to the customer. I got to go through the music super, whoever it is. Then, that's just how it is, right? So the income fluctuates. And so if you want to keep that consistent income, sync has to be a part of what you do. So you're like, okay, FM, what do you do? All right. So you see what people are doing. The guys in my space, they're monetized, they're doing courses, how to get into sync. Fortunately, there's always going to be newbies at the beginning that want to get into sync, that want to learn the game, don't know how to structure their beats, don't know how to do sting outs, don't know how to structure emails. And so this information is always going to be valuable information to sell to people, to give to people, but also to monetize, to sell to people. And as people that have been in the space for a long time, this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to diversify. So as we gain knowledge, we're supposed to sell that knowledge. It's called intellectual property. Like, as well as the music that we make, the knowledge that we gain over the years becomes intellectual property, and we monetize that as well. So you see a lot of guys that are doing well financially are doing better by selling sync courses and doing live streams and monetizing their knowledge of sync rather than getting placements. And you can tell this because you can see them online doing a lot more of the education than posting placements, right? People that are getting big placements are posting those placements. If you're getting commercials, you're posting those commercials. If you're getting, and keep in mind, we get a lot of placements we don't post. I'm not saying that they ain't getting placements, because they're getting placements. Like, we've been in the game a long time, so they're eating it. But I'm saying that they're smart in the sense that they're not going to just rely on the the vibe or the mood or the music supervisor or whatever to get into that space. So um you diversify and do whatever you find where you fit in, right? So with me, it's the producer whisperer. Like, I'm trying to build a community big enough, and then I'm gonna start, do consultations. I'm gonna monetize it myself. That's just the nature of it. But other guys out there, or ladies, other people out there, you know, beat sites, loop packs, sample packs, build a community, live streams, as same thing that we're doing as we gain information about sync. You'd be surprised how many people don't want to go on YouTube and look at a video about how to do sting outs or how to structure their music. And that's what you're there for. As you gain this knowledge, you can monetize what you know and sell that knowledge. And that's just what it is. But the thing is that, going back to what I said before, once you decide to get paper for your music, you're in business. So you got to think about the best business model for your business. How can I get to the most customers? How can I satisfy the most customers and increase my bottom line at the end of the year? I'm trying to make the most money I can. And so the answer to, can you have a career in sync, is yes, you can, but odds are you're not. Odds are you're not going to be making $100,000 in sync unless you get into that specialty niche. Now, let's go into that. Um, if you're aiming for sync, if you don't want to do all of this other stuff, if you're like, nah, I want to sync my music, I'm not trying to do no beat, no beat side or no loop packs or nothing like that. Like, I want to get placements, right? So you want to specialize, then that's the way that you stick out. If you're making, I don't want to say regular, but if you're making background cues, tension cues, hip hop, sports stuff, or whatever, you're gonna be in a barrel with a lot of monkeys, right? There's a lot of people doing that, right? Because it's what we do. Like, if you're already making hip hop, you're gonna just structure your hip hop, formulate it to sync, and keep doing what you're doing, which is what you should be doing, because it's your specialty. You're gonna sound the best doing this, right? But I'm just saying, if you want to stick out, right? If you want to increase your chances of getting to that point where you can really, really live off of the sync stuff, then you're gonna have to specialize, right? DIY music biz. He's strictly, not strictly, but for the most part, his specialty is video gaming music, and that's a whole other planet, for real. Like, I'm glad I got to talk to him at the conference that I went to out in Atlanta. And yeah, he really, really knows his stuff. And I learned a lot talking to him, because yeah, there's a lot to do with that world that has nothing to do with what we're doing over here for television, right? It's totally different type of relationships. You have to approach it differently, but his value is a lot higher in that space because he specializes in that space. So if you want to take the time and learn video game music, that's something that you can do. If you want to learn film trailers or trailerizing stuff, that's a specialty not many guys are doing still, which I don't know why, because people are eating like crazy off that. They pay more for that kind of stuff because it is specialty music. Then you can go that route. You can work with recording artists and do releases and make sure that you're really, really paying attention to things like special events, holidays, sports music, that kind of thing, and paint, create a lane for yourself to where you stand out. You're sitting over here, you're not just doing everything or whatever. And these are ways that you can foster deeper, better relationships, have higher value in these relationships. But yeah, the thing is that you will have to diversify. You're not going to just do it with placements, not regular placements. You're going to have to either specialize, or you're going to have to diversify your the way that you are doing business. So if you're not doing loop packs, if you're not, doing all of these other things, then it's going to be very easy for you to look up a few years from now and look at a bunch of placements, because you're going to get placements if you do what everyone's telling you to do. Structure your music correctly, sting outs, hustle, reach out to music soups, you're going to get placements. period. It's gonna happen. It's like you're eventually gonna cross that threshold, and it's gonna happen for you. But like I was talking about last week, you want to make a living off of this. You want to be able to eat off of this to where you can sit in your home and do music, turn your music in, get compensated, pay your bills, take care of your family, go on vacations, and live a life that you want to live. And that's 100% possible. You were blessed with a talent. That talent is your vehicle to get to where you're trying to go. But the route you're taking to get to where you're trying to go might, you might have to diversify and take some detours, and do some other stuff. Each one of you is different. So you guys know where your talents, your strengths, and your weaknesses are. So okay, well, I don't want to do a beat site. You don't want to do a beat stars, or you might not want to do this. You might want to do that, but you're gonna have to do something, right? What I want to dispel is the misconception that if all you guys do is do the steps to sync, you work hard and you do the steps, then you're going to have a correct, eventually you're going to have a successful career in sync. That ain't the case, man. You can easily look up a few years from now, like I said, and have a bunch of placements, have a great resume, and not be making no money because a lot of your placements are on reality television, and the royalty rates aren't that high, and yada yada yada. So it's not doom and gloom, right? I would say go for it still, but make sync a part of your hustle and not your main hustle. um it can definitely supplement your income. You're getting a bunch of placements per year, you're definitely going to see more money on your ASCAP or your BMI royalties, right? Few $1,000s over the year. I saw a video where Clint was talking about he was making, I don't think, like $1,200 a quarter or 2 grand a quarter or something like that. Yeah, if you're smart with the money that you're making, how to invest that money and do what you're supposed to, then you can end up living comfortably. But I digress. Let me go back to what I was talking about. We're talking about what you have to do to actually monetize your music. And so, um, give me a one in the comments if you're still with me so far. And then also, a lot of you guys, um, let me know what kind of stuff that you feel like you can do aside from sync in order to monetize what you do. Like, I know some of you don't want to do beat sites, you don't even produce that much. Some of you are recording artists, some of you are, whatever it is. But you guys let me know what you feel like you can do to, expand your business model. Because at the bottom, at the end of the day, that's what this is about. You are a business, whether you've been looking at yourself as a business or not. That's what you are. You're trying to monetize your product, which is your music, right? So you have to have the most rock solid business model possible. And in any type of business, you want to get your product to the people, right? And so that the people might not be a music supervisor. People might be the person on social media that'll buy or lease your beat. You know what I'm saying? And another thing that I noticed as far as the hustle that I've seen, the lack of hustle that I've seen in people. Each one of us lives in a city somewhere, right? ATL, St. Louis, LA, or whatever. And we all have these local businesses, these car dealerships. Out here for years when I was a kid, we had Cal Worthington and his dog Spot. He's Worthington Ford out in Long Beach. And we got restaurants that are only, regional restaurants or whatever. I don't think we have Piggly Wiggly here, but I hear like in the Midwest, they have, you guys got a bunch of, in the South, there's a bunch of stuff we don't have out here. But you guys have staples in your community, restaurants, car dealerships, furniture stores. I see a lot, local furniture stores or whatever. Approach these people. Approach these people in your hometown, do licensing deals with them, and be able to supply them with music in your hometown. These are people that you've seen your whole life, right? Putting commercials on, spending money on ads for local, for the locals. They're not promoting to anybody outside the state or outside the region, but they're spending ad money, a lot of ad money on ads. None of you guys are approaching them. No, none of you guys are approaching them and trying to offer your services, write jingles for them, offer instrumentals to them, come up with a payment structure, build a relationship. That's the way you can eat forever. Remember when I was telling you how back in the day when we used to approach these music supervisors, they were like happy that we would do it because they didn't know people that did music, right? music supervisor job back in the day was basic cubicle stuff, right? They sit in a cubicle. They might run around and go back and forth talking to the editor, working with the editor, whatever. But it was not glamorous work. So when we came in the game and we're showing up at Boone and Murray, we're showing up at these offices, right? And there was a cool factor. All these guys produce music. We're musicians, right? And they weren't. So we got treated good, taking to lunch a lot, coffee dates, all kind of stuff or whatever. These people in your hometown that own these businesses, they're going to have the same reaction, especially if you got a little bit of resume on you. If you got a couple placements under you and you approach them and be like, hey, I do this for a living. I would love to represent your brand. We've been using your product all of our lives. I've ate at your restaurant. We've bought cars from you. We got a couch from your store right now in the crib or whatever. Like, we rock with you. Plus, you hometown, we hometown or whatever. These are relationships that you can build. This is something that you can definitely do. You see, London is hometown, DJing, and now she's opening for a hometown legend, Nelly or whatever. You can get a lot of traction and be able to make some money in your hometown. It's not always about reaching out to a music super or company, across the country or whatever. You have a product. You've been blessed with a talent that you can recreate. You can make this product over and over again and customize it to the customer's needs. That's crazy. That's crazy that you have this ability. So don't so what am I trying to say here? Don't overlook potential customers, and it could all start at home. I don't see anybody doing this. I don't see anybody becoming like, now I'm the person that makes the music for my local furniture store that I see all the time, or whoever it is that's doing commercials. I've gotten placements on the news out here in LA, KTLA 5 morning news. I've got placements on the news. You wouldn't even think you could do that, but they use music going to commercial and coming back from commercial, right? Got placements on there. See what I'm saying? Corporate. Here's another dig for you. You trying to get your music to somewhere. A lot of these big corporations, insurance companies in particular, I've been seeing. I learned about this by having a conversation about AARP a couple years ago. A lot of these big companies spend millions of dollars on advertising in a year, right? And so they decided to start trying to alleviate some of that bleeding and bring some of that production in-house. So a lot of these insurance companies, right, started building recording studios in their office buildings, right? Having people come in and do music for their companies, right? And so you could reach out to them, offer your services. Also, most companies, most big organizations, they do when they bring you in, they do orientation, right? And so during orientation, you'll see videos. It could be like sexual harassment videos or the OSHA videos where they're talking about safety, where the animated videos where they have people getting hurt in a hard hat, don't do this. And you see somebody's arm get cut off or whatever. There's music behind all of that, right? Just when people are going to get a job and they're going through orientation, there's music behind all of that. Those companies buy beats in bulk, right? Me and Kim was on it. They buy beats in bulk. So if you have 100 beats that fit, quirky, that could go behind training videos or whatever, you might get 20 grand, 30 grand. A lot of these companies, they got more money than God. Like they're not spending money. They're spending money on advertising. So this, you guys already know advertising is where the most money is. So they're spending goo gobs of money on it. They got money to give you. So monetizing what you do and being able to make a living off of what you do is 100% possible, but it's going to depend on what your hustle is and where you put your music. It's not going to just be sync. It could just be sync, but I'm just being unk right now, and I'm telling you the real, man. I've been in this almost 20 years, right? If you rely just on sync and you're not a specialist, if you're not doing film trailers, if you're not making music for animation, you got a special plug like that. If the bulk of your stuff is background music for television, then you should definitely be diversifying your hustle and switching up your business plan so you can have a bigger bottom line. And plus, you have a universal product. You make music, so you want to put that music in as many spaces as you can. Hotel chains, amusement parks, they all have proprietary radio stations. Disneyland, Magic Mountain, they have music that plays in the park, and they have these playlists you could get right at them. I have this licensable music. It's happy music. It's positive music. Kids bop type music, and sell it to them. And then you have a client every. Let me tell you what I first did. This is case in point. My first placement. Okay, so I moved here to LA in 2003. Right, Sync was not on the radar. Okay. This is way before Sync even got on the radar for me. So this is kind of ironic that I'm telling you guys this story. Right. So I moved to the San Fernando Valley. This is a crazy story. So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the San Fernando Valley, the 818 here in LA, is the birthplace of video pornography. Videotapes, DVDs, they all started here in the Valley. So when I first got here, the apartment building I moved into, there was a porn star that lived next door to me, right? She was bad as hell too, Asian chick. And I know that I didn't know she was a porn star, but I always saw these bad ones, going to her apartment or whatever. And so, yeah, I found out that that's what she did or whatever. And in the conversations with them, they would tell me, okay, well, yeah, this is like, you live in the birthplace of this, and this is what we do here, type stuff or whatever. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. No judgment. That's what y'all do, porn star or whatever. But because I make music, um, I got curious. They used to work for this company called Video Team. Video Team was a porn production company, right? That made black porn videos. I made hip hop. So it didn't take me but a second to put two and two together. It's like, okay, do they need music? Yeah, let me give you their phone number, right? So I called Video Team one day. I'm like, hey, my name is, I make music. I don't know if you guys are interested or not, but music and porn is usually cheesy. You guys make black pornos. How would you like it if you guys had some really hip, cool hip hop music to put in their porn music? Man, they ate it up. So my first few $1,000s that I made was just taking beats over to Video Team and them using my beats in pornos. And they would give me a check, $500, $1,000 every time I stopped by there, right? With my CDs. I burn up some CDs of beats or whatever, and they give me my check and then a box of freaking porn DVDs that I would give out to all the homies or whatever. And so that was this was like in '03. This is the year I got out here. So I didn't even get introduced to TV film until 2 years after that. Right. But while I was out here working as a dog groomer and selling bootleg Louis Vuitton purses and working at the deli at the liquor store, I was a receptionist at the doctor's office or whatever. I was also making beats and giving them to porn and making money doing that until I got into the TV stuff, and it was putting money in my pocket. Ain't no shame in my game, man. I'm like, it's me. I'm not selling drugs. I'm selling music. If you take the music and you put it in a porno, that's your business. I'm trying to sell the music. But the point I'm trying to make is that I was hustling my music in wherever the music could go. I wasn't just aiming for one thing. And it's that way now, right? Sync is a definite vehicle for you to get your music out there, to get compensated, to get exposure or whatever. But it should not be the only vehicle, because you got other customers out there that could monetize what you're doing, right? So the hard truth about Sync is, boys and girls, is that yes, it can be very, very lucrative. It could get you income. But if you're playing the odds, if we're in Vegas and we're rolling dice or playing cards and we're playing the odds, I wouldn't bet on it making me $100,000 every year. I just wouldn't. It's just not, in my opinion, it's not going to do that unless you start doing other stuff. And if it was the case that all of these people, myself included, that are, doing live streams, giving information, selling information, doing courses, conferences, all of this stuff that we're charging you for, we wouldn't be doing none of that stuff if placements was paying enough. If placements was paying $150,000 a year straight every year, and we could just make music and do that, you wouldn't see anybody selling no courses, because it's work putting these courses together and holding conferences. Like, that's a lot of work. It's time intensive. It's a lot of work. It pays off, but you wouldn't see nobody doing that if Sync was paying enough. Because the most fun we have is making music, right? It's not fun always having to make content for social media. It's not fun always having to edit videos. It's not even fun for me putting CapCut captions on videos. It take me 10 minutes to do that. And then I post it and I look at somebody else and it still look better than mine. It's frustrating. If I had my choice, there would probably wouldn't have even been a Smash Coast. I would just be making music, turning my music in, getting fat checks, and that would be my life, But Smash Coast happened, due to some circumstances you guys already know about. And so now I do what I do. These other guys in the space, they do what they do because they had to do it. Placements is not going to pay enough. So there it is there. That's the truth about sync. Is it discouraging? It should not be. You should be encouraged, because the fact of the matter is that you guys create a product that you can monetize. That's never, excuse me, that's never going away. You guys have talent. It's the hustle where you might have to improve upon to be able to get to the point where you're making six figures consistently. You want to aim for 70 grand. 70 grand is what you want every year, right? 70 grand off of this music is like, okay, now I'm starting to, see it get comfortable. 70 grand is something that's reachable, and 70 grand is something that you can do consistently, right? But for each and every one of us, because we have different skill sets, different abilities to create relationships, um, it's going to be a different business model for all of us. So don't look in everybody else's backyard and see what they're doing and think that's what I'll do, because they got to that space, on a very specific path, and all of our paths are different. So there it is there. Are you guys with me so far? Another one in the comments. Let me hear one in the comments. You with me so far? Sometimes I feel like I just be running my mouth, man, but I'm trying to give you guys a game. So let me look in the comments right here. I started DJing this year when the writer strike hit. So glad I did. Sync wasn't really as big for me this year as it was last year. See, that's what I'm saying. And that's all I'm saying. London, I love you for saying that, because I've said it many times back in the earlier lives, man. We are in a street fight. The second that you decided to do this, you chose the hardest route. That's why I support you guys so much. That's why I want you to support each other, because us pursuing our music is the hardest thing that we can do. Is no safety net for this, right? And so you got to fight with all limbs. If you know how to DJ, DJ. Get out there and start doing it. If you know how to do whatever it is you know how to do, you know how to create album covers for people, might know how to draw, you might have a technical, niche that you know how to do, build websites for people for music. There's a lot of stuff around music that you can monetize depending on what your skill set is. Learn something new or whatever. But for you guys that are thinking that, okay, well, I tried to do all of this other stuff over the years, I'm going to get into sync, and sync is going to be my way out. Sync is one of the things that you can do. It can be very lucrative for you at times, but we're looking for consistency, right? And like I said, it's a street fight. And in a street fight, you're going to bite and kick and scratch and pick up bricks and sticks and stones and break their bones and so on and so forth. You're going to do what you need to do to win that fight. So I have confidence in each and every one of you because you have the talent. Being born with the talent is like the cheat code, because people that don't have it or haven't been blessed enough to find their talent, they don't even have this option. You guys have the option. You guys can work regular jobs, do the 9 to 5, and then build this up in the background. Build your sync up, build your DJing skills up, build your beat site, whatever it is, and still be working at 9 to 5 and making what you need to make to survive. A lot of people don't have that choice yet, because they haven't found their talent. They haven't been blessed enough to find their talent. So it's the 9 to 5 game for them, or it's the other career game for them. They might not ever find out, what they could do with their talent. But since you guys found that out, you guys got a lot of options. So a lot of doors can open for you if you know how to hustle correctly. So let me go back to the comments here. That was a great comment, London. I love that. The pandemic is what switched a lot of people to sync. The people that weren't forcing before that, the pandemic hit and all of these shows and stuff dried up. They're like, oh, I'm going to be sitting at home for the next 2 years. Let me make some beats and send them into TV. And they, thought that was going to work out. And it did for a lot of people. A lot of people started in 2020 and they're getting placements now. But for those people, I want them to know that, like I said, you can look up and have a bunch of placements and still be wanting to, pay your bills. And so you got to be smart about your hustle. This is entrepreneurship, right? 101, man. You got to find a business model that works for you and find the easiest route to get to your customers. So let me go back to the comments. Cherry says, what's up, Cherry? I work for Enterprise and been trying to get marketing department for years. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Enterprise car rental. I used to work for National Car Rental back in the day. That was one of my first jobs. So shout out to the car rental fam. Um, but that's what I'm talking about. You work for one of them companies, you know they got a marketing department, you know, make the relationships with the companies and get in there. There's always an option when there's music, man. There's music in everything. There's music in everything. It ain't just TV film, right? You know, AARP is I think doing something or whatever. I'll look it up. Tell you guys next week. But shout out to Cherry for that comment. KJ Rose is at MasterCard. Says, right, Cherry, I'm doing the same thing at MasterCard. They got a marketing department. You can create something for them. Now, with these corporations, just make sure that when you're approaching them, if you're trying to reach out to them and get that meeting, make sure you're ready. You know, make sure that your accolades are front and center. Whatever you've got, I don't care how small or big it is, put it out front because you want to let them know that because they don't know they're MasterCard and Enterprise Carmel and stuff, so they're not in this space. They're not in the music space. They're not going to understand it, right? So you got to lay it out as easy as possible for them. Let them see what it is what you do. Approach them. Don't make the numbers too crazy. You know, you want the numbers to be substantial, but the thing is, what you want to do when you finally do get these meetings with these people is you want to get into a situation where this is what you do with them. You don't want to drop off some music, get a check, and be like, okay, great, we got some music for you. Now you want to get in there and represent and be like, okay, like I understand the brand, you know, have some conversations with them, with the marketing department, you know, try to get in as deep as you can, see what direction that they're going with their marketing, you know, what messages they're trying to convey to the public. It's just like a brief. You know, you might have this in live conversation, but it's just like interpreting a brief. They have very specific goals with their marketing. So once you can tap in on that, then you can create what they need specifically, right? Instead of like, okay, well, you know, right now, if you just send some music to MasterCard, you don't might not even know what kind of music to send, but a couple of conversations with the marketing department, they're like, oh yeah, we're targeting this demographic next year, whatever, you know, and our whole vibe is this and that, then you're gonna know how to approach it. And that's going to be great with relationship building because they're immediately going to get like, okay, well, this person is making music for us. They're not just dropping beats off for us to use. We can use them going forward. And they're going to rock with you. I have a lot of confidence in you guys being able to do that once you get those meetings because they need the music. You know, they don't understand the space. They're probably been going to libraries, paying out the wazoo, you know, or licensing it through somebody that's because they're MasterCard, they're paying hundreds of thousands or whatever. And like anytime you're able to provide the same quality or better service product to somebody and you can undercut what they're paying and save them some money, they're gonna rock with you, bro. They're gonna rock with you. So yes, very, very smart. Very, very smart, Cherry. Very smart, KJ Rose. Fire emojis for y'all. That's what I'm talking about. That's all I'm talking about. So I know I clickbaited a little bit with my thumbnail, but the thing is that hey, I got to get your attention. Yes, sync can be very lucrative. Don't just rely on it. You gotta fight with all limbs, y'all. So y'all got it. Let me go back to the Jamina. It says, I'm a sworn translator. So I also translate other artists' songs into Spanish and sing a demo for them to initiate the pronunciation. Ooh, I didn't know you did that, girl. So you are that's crazy. So you're a musical interpreter for Spanish. Yeah, I might have to have a conversations with Kim about that. I think there's something because like international music, see, there's a big issue with international licensing, and that's the language barrier. We would love to be able to get more placements in the Latin market because but like you know, working with Latin PROs, especially with Latin artists, right? A lot of the dope Latin artists are mostly Spanish speaking. They don't speak English, especially when you're dealing with like, you know, Mexico or South America and that kind of thing. And, you know, dealing with these traditional styles, Tejano, cumbia, that type of thing. Um, and so, yeah, I think that's a very, very valuable skill set that you have. The fact that you can also demo in both languages is crazy. Yeah, she's from Argentina. See what I'm saying? She's Buenos Aires. That's dope, man. That's dope. So do you charge for that service? So when you translate from one language to another and then you sing the demos, you charge for that, right? You're monetizing that, right? Look in the comments. Jamina, absolutely. So that's a added income stream based on her skill set. Everybody's skill set is different. All I'm telling y'all is to fight. Whatever you can do, do it. Not no one thing is gonna do it, and nothing is great. Nothing that's great is built easily. You're gonna have to put some work in. Might have to suffer a little bit. I won't say struggle, but suffer a little bit. But you got the talent, you have the skill set. You can always improve on that talent and improve your skill set, which means you can get more money. See what I'm saying? But it's not gonna just be sync. It could just be sync. Just like you could go to the liquor store and buy a lottery ticket and hit that mug. You could get something amazing happen. So I say do that too, but sync should definitely be a part of your hustle. For those of you that get to that point that sync is making you a bunch of money, God bless you. You are fortunate. But as you see in the space, if you look in the space, a lot of us there in the space, we're doing other stuff to make money around sync education, so on and so forth. And I'm a firm believer that if the average music producer or artist that was just able to sit in their studio and create music and make $100,000+ a year, some of us be like, well, shoot, I want 200, so I'm still going to sell courses, I'm still going to do that. But like I say, all of that stuff is time intensive. It takes a lot of time to stay on social media all the time and edit videos, and the whole social media marketing game. You guys know it's a lot. It's a lot of time and effort to do that, right? And so if music was able to pay you enough for that time to where, like, and you had to spend that time making music to make that money, all of us would just be making music to make that money. We wouldn't be doing nothing else. You wouldn't hardly see any sync influencers online at all, because they'd be making enough money doing music, which is ultimately what we want to do. We're musicians, right? There's not nobody in this live right now that doesn't want to just be able to make music for a living. Sit in your house, make music for a living, send it out, get paid for it, be able to do shows, perform, build a fan base, monetize what you do, your talent. But because it don't pay enough, that's where you're seeing in the space there's a lot of education, consultation, this and that, and it's not like they're not leaving money on the table or nothing like that, but it's just that you got to diversify and use what you have. Now these people are really good at what they do, they're excellent at what they do, so they should do it. So as you guys might be the next producer whisperer, you guys might be the next Clint, Segura, I see you in that space. You're very well spoken. You're all about your having a good look online. You're knowledgeable. I could totally see you, doing live streams and building courses and that kind of thing, and being successful in this space as well. So a lot of you can do that. Just fight with all limbs, man. Let me go back to the comments. I do charge for that service, and clients love the fact that I can sing it for them to initiate, copy the vibe of and the pronunciation, not just the translation on paper. Not many translators are singers. Exactly. When you think of a translator, you just think of talking. You don't even think of singing. So what I was saying earlier about specializing, you're a specialist. You've set yourself apart from a lot of people just by being able to do that, and you can monetize that, or you already monetized. So that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. You guys get it. Yeah, exactly. I can see that happening. Who knows what the next decade? You never. Who knows what next month will bring, bruh. Things move fast. You know how this goes. Well, I know what you're doing. You're building up that resume. Smart, building up that resume. I see what's up. So, with all that being said, guys, girls, folks, are there any questions? Have I left anything out? Was I clear and concise in what I was conveying to you guys? Do you guys get what I'm talking about? Give me a one in the comment real quick if all of that applies what I just said. You guys got it. You guys got some jewels out of it. It wasn't a wasted live. I wanted to let you know, man, that because if you just look on social media, especially with so many people wanting to do sync, it seems like it's, it could be saturated. It's not. Um, there could very easily be a misconception that, oh, well, all I got to do is this, and I can, start getting placements and get paid, get this paper. I had somebody DM me like, come on, FM, let's get it started, man. I'm trying to get this paper, get this paper. What are your expectations? Like, what are you expecting to happen? The average placement is paying what on television, right? The average streaming rate is what? Where are your placements happening? Are they network cable or are they streaming? That's a whole different conversation. You don't have any control over that. You don't have any control over where your music ends up unless, you're specializing and you're very, very tactical in your movement. So Zello says, I'm glad that you tell people this. So many people are misinformed about sync. Yeah, because um I'm not even gonna get into but I'm me. I'm the producer whisperer. You guys that have been rocking with me know that I keep it a bean, keep it 100 with y'all. Like, you know, I gotta give it to you how it is, and it's just how it is. It's very, very difficult to do, and you can have a lot of success at it, but you got to be very tactical. You got to be smart. It's not just as easy as just I'm getting placements. I'm getting placements. You see a bunch of people getting placements, but because I know the game so well, I'm on social media and I applaud everybody that gets a placement. I'm like, yeah, that's dope. But I'm seeing the placements where they're placing in the quality of their placement. I got something on own, or I got something on such and such. And it's dope that you're doing that because it shows that you have the skill set that you can get placements, right? That's what you want. You want to prove that you can do the work, that you can provide the product. But because they don't know the game and they're just doing it, they are definitely going to look up a few years from now and be like, damn, I got hundreds of placements. Where the paper? Where the money at? I can't even buy that new VST on Black Friday because, I got 50 placements this year, but like my ass cap was like $400, you know? So you don't want that. You want to be able to really, really get money for what you're doing. You want to see thousands on those royalties. So it takes everything. International licensing. Shout out to Jamina. Uh, 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 Local businesses, corporations, beat sites, loop packs, sample packs, consultations, whatever it is that you have the ability to do, that's what you're going to have to do in order to be able to live off your music. It's not going to be one thing. It could happen, but I'm just telling you real. I'm not discouraging you. I'm not like a parent saying, why are you going to do that for? You need to go get a job. Nah, it ain't that. I'm saying do sync. I'm in sync. I'm in sync. So I'm saying do sync. I still need people. Right. So but I say specialize. If you're really trying to get paid, specialize. Be a Guilty Flores. Shout out to my guy Guilty Flores. He's a specialist now. He sent me a demo this morning for a video game. I can't say nothing. I probably said too much saying that just to put my ears on it, but I can't give any information. It's some of the dopest. It's so dope. It's so dope. And I remember when he was just sending me hip hop beats, pop beats. I don't want to say just because there's nothing little about that. I don't want to make it seem like one thing is better than the other. But when it comes to getting paid, compensated correctly, one thing is better than the other. Background cues are always going to be background cues, but a video game trailer for an ad for a trailer is specialty work. Gaming music is specialty work. Trailerizing stuff is specialty work. It just garners more money. It's just like if you go to a chiropractor versus if you go to a brain surgeon. Chiropractor is not a specialist. A brain surgeon is very much a specialist. So you look at their income. What do chiropractors make? They get good money, you know, you know, upwards towards six figures or low six figures. What do brain surgeons make? They don't start under six figures. They $250,000. And if you're an esteemed brain surgeon, you're out there doing what you need to do. You're making a couple $1,000,000 a year because you're like they're coming after you for the work, and you're getting paid through medical insurance. So, there it is there. The more you can specialize, hone in on something to where you can really stand out away from everybody else, this is gonna give you more value monetarily. So let me go back to the comments real quick. Segura says some people think they can just jump in and be rich. Yeah, man, that's one of the biggest misconceptions. And it's our fault too, because we only post the wins. And anytime you're looking on social media, you're literally looking at somebody else's grass in their backyard and it's greener than yours. And we make it look easy. You don't see the struggle in social media. You don't see the ramen noodle nights and all of the empty nights and us working on crack software and janky computers and arguing with our spouses and the bills need to be paid and depression and PTSD and all of the personal stuff and the boss yelling at us. We don't post none of that. You don't see none of that. And we shouldn't, because you got to paint a perfect picture online. But because of that, it's very, very deceptive. It makes it look easy. All we posted, we so-and-so got a placement. Well, my beats is just as dope as him. I can do that. And it looks easy. You don't know what struggle he went through to get them placements, what relationships he had to build, and all of the crap he had to go through to get to them placements. And so, yeah, there's a very deep misconception about it. And let me tell you, your boy, I'm here to dispel all of that. Like I'm not gonna stand for misinformation, false information. You come to me, I'm gonna give it to you how it is, and that's how it is. It's just how it is. And people might get in the comments once this goes live on the site, and on YouTube, and disagree with it. I know there's cases out there with people being very successful in sync and having built those relationships, but at the end of the day, that's what you're going to have to do, build those relationships, and that's something that you only have so much control over. And relationships don't last forever. A lot of time you have a relationship be good for a long time until that entity moves on to another job, or they have something going on in their life or whatever, because like we're dealing with people, right? So you just want to put yourself in the best possible position to be able to make the most money you can over the longest period of time. And so that means including sync as part of your hustle, but not completely as your hustle. So there it is there. So that's it. Any Q&A real quick? So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I think I've gotten it off my chest. I think I said what I had to say today. Segura has a question. What's up? I'm like, question. I get all happy with the questions. I think I have one. When approaching local companies, do you recommend approaching as an individual or as an entity? Wow, that's a great question. I think it's going to kind of appear both now that I'm thinking about it, because okay, put it this way. I know that most companies want to work with companies, right? But the thing about working with companies is that companies charge a lot, right? So if you approach them as an individual, they might not take you seriously. They might not think that you're established enough. You just might not have the look as an individual. But on the upside, as an individual, they know that you're not going to charge as much as a full-blown company that does sync or whatever. Me personally, if you're asking my advice, I'd always walk in with my brand, right? Because at the end of the day, you're relationship building. You're going to get to talk to somebody with your voice, right? So you might appear to be this big entity that's going to charge them a lot, but once you get to that conversation stage, you can let them know, hey, I'm working on your budget, y'all. What are you guys paying for music now? Or you don't get music from anybody, or you're paying too much for music? Okay, well, let me just come in and alleviate all those problems for you. I got you. I'm going to service you, and I'm only going to charge you this much. But we're going to do contracts to where you're going to have me, 12 months at a time. Right. Let's do a contract where I supply music for you X amount of time. We can have renewal at the end of the 12 months and so on and so forth. But so that, to answer your question, I come in as my brand, right? And because your brand represents what you've done, and most companies want to work with companies. I just kind of learned that not too long ago from Gildy, because Gildy was trying to do something with the NFL, and the NFL, when it came time to compensate, they needed his information, and they were looking for his EIN. They work. It's called B2B, business to business, and they only work B2B. They don't really work with individuals, right? They know that if it's B2B, there's going to be a certain amount of professionalism and stuff that they don't have to worry about, no issues and this and that, versus dealing with an individual entity that may or may not get it. See what I'm saying? So to answer your question, go with your brand. Segura Productions all the way. That's a dope question, man. Fire emojis. I appreciate you for that. Great question. Any more as I take a bite of my fruit? So hungry. Very insightful. I appreciate that. Just wrote it down. I need to get my EIN ASAP. Yeah, man, you need to get your EIN. You're trying to make money. That's another thing. Let me tell you guys real quick about the EIN and why you should get it. Wealth isn't really all the way about how much money you make. Wealth is about how much money you owe and how much money you keep, right? So if you're trying to feel like you're wealthy, you feel like you're making money, even if you're not making a ton of money, you want to bring your debt down, and you don't want to pay taxes. That's the difference between us and the wealthy, is that they know how to alleviate paying taxes, right? They'll pay taxes on stuff they buy, but I'm talking about on their income. So you'll fall down that rabbit hole once you get your EIN, because then you're going to start having to do your own taxes, and you're going to have to itemize all of the stuff that you buy for your business during the week so you can write those off to alleviate how much they take from you or whatever. But see, that's the thing. You got to learn about money to make money. And one of the biggest ways that the wealthy stay wealthy and the rich get rich um is tax laws, knowing the tax laws and how to get around tax laws and stuff. So shout out to Segura for that. That's dope. Yeah, get your EIN, get your LLC cracking, man. Robbie said, would establish yourself as an LLC it'd be a good move. Oh, absolutely. I'm LLC for sure. There's a lot of protections that come with LLCs. Um, and yeah, like I said, man, you guys are trying to monetize your music, right? You're in business. You're in business, right? So be a business. You can be an individual, but I guarantee you that everybody that's doing it, making money in this space, they're LLC, they have an EIN, because once you start dealing with companies, or like I said, with Guilty dealing with the NFL, it's B2B, it's B2B. So yeah, get yourself an LLC if you don't have one. Go to Chat GPT and find out what's the best LLC type of S corp, or what type of LLC is best for you. I'm a single proprietor myself. Great questions, y'all. Great questions. Anybody else? We're about to wrap it up. Make sure to get good tax consultants so you completely understand what you can write off on the Schedule C of your taxes. Exactly. I write off everything. My tax guy, I was going to H&R Black. I had a good guy. He just retired. But like, yeah, man, you'd be surprised how much stuff you can curb on the taxes. Like all of this Black Friday stuff, I'm not gonna have to pay, taxes on none of it. TVs, all of this gear I just bought this year. The end of my years are the last like 4 months of the year, 3, 4 months of the year, the same with me every year. If I haven't spent a lot during the year on the company, if I haven't done company lunches, company meetings, driven a lot, use the car a lot for business or whatever, then I have to start buying stuff at the end of the year. So I'll start charging stuff at the end of the year, gear, usually software and gear, and just so I could spend enough to be able to not give it to them in taxes, because it's going to come out anyway. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather be looking around at a bunch of new speakers and new stuff in my studio than to just pay them the money for that. See what I'm saying? I buy something, write it off, and now it's written off. I don't got to pay taxes on it, right? But if I don't, they're going to take the taxes out of other places anyway. So, yeah, be smart. Yes, sir. Retired IRS agents are great consultants. Yep, that's real. Found is a great app for accounting. I'll check that out. Didn't even know about that. Okay, y'all. Any more questions? All right, that's what's up. I love y'all. It's been another great live. Thank you guys for coming and rocking with me. Um, be sure to let people know about it, man. Like I say, like, follow, subscribe. Let people know about this community. It's been dope, man. I appreciate you too, Segura, man. As always, as always. And I'm gonna see you guys next week. I love y'all. And with that being said, I am the producer whisper. Y'all have a great weekend, and try not to eye this out too much over the weekend. And just so you guys know, uh there is an unwritten rule about leftovers. I do not want to see nobody next Wednesday and Thursday eating leftovers. Eat these leftovers over the next 2 days, 3 days tops. I'll give you a little bit longer with the desserts if you guys are eating sweet potato pie and that kind of stuff or whatever. But get these leftovers ate. Don't be trying to make turkey sandwiches next week. That is too old. Stop. you know let's get our itis in over the weekend right now, maybe Monday, Tuesday. That's it. Then Thanksgiving is over with, right? Start working on holiday, Christmas dinner. Yes, and Garrett says 3 days max. That's what's up. All right, y'all. With that being said, I'll talk to y'all next week. Love y'all. I'm the producer whisperer. Peace.